NDC amanyɔkuo no abodwadata nam so de ɔpani a ɔbɔ kanema mpanin John Dramani Mahama etidom ɛwɔ fie yabato a ɛba so no emu no Professor Jean Nana Opoku Agyeman wɔde no akyerɛ NDC amanyɔkuo no atitafoɔ ne mpanimfoɔ nyinaa. Dwumadie no ɛkɔ so ɛwɔ University of Professional Studies ɛwɔ Nkran Krodua yi emu. Ɛbrɛ dwumadie no ɛkɔ so no ɛna ɔpani a wɔdi NDC amanyɔkuo no anim owura John Dramani Mahama ɛde tu edwa sɛ ɛkɔba sɛ Ghanafoɔ ɛte wɔn aseɛ na afimpi mmienu ne aduonu abato no wɔde amamuo no sɛ NDC amanyɔkuo no ensa obabam pepepe woni a won sika akamu eye sika krabia hodo bi a agugu ene won nnwuma ase ne nyina no obehwe na obi biara ne sika akamu no watua ede ama no oto aso ese aba no eba adwa so a sisa hodo bebre no de begu akwan so ma ankrankra enwuma atumi agina na adwuma ye Ghana for dia no so no atumi agina.
It is heart-wrenching to hear government officials justify the huge amount it is spending to manage the impact of the collapse of Ghanaian financial institutions, which they now put at a whopping 21 billion Ghana cedis. I weep for the many who have lost their jobs, the many who have lost their jobs, the many who have lost their businesses, and the many who have lost their livelihoods as a result of these policies. I pledge on behalf of the NDC that we shall, within 1 year of being in office, pay all funds that have been locked up with the collapsed financial institutions. Within our first year in office, we shall pay to all the beneficiaries all funds locked up in the collapsed financial institutions. It is a promise. We shall not put together any long-term payment plan that will further worsen the living conditions of the victims. As has been introduced in other economies, the next NDC administration will establish a financial services authority that will be responsible for ensuring that consumer financial markets work for consumers and providers and for the economy as a whole. This financial services authority will oversee all financial products and services that are offered to consumers and will effectively and efficiently prevent and stop the challenges that have confronted customers of Men's Gold, DKM, and others. We will restore Ghanaian indigenous investment in the banking and financial sector. And we will do this through a tiered banking structure in order to restore viable credit sources for Ghanaian SMEs. And we will make amends for those whose businesses were
power now we saw Oceano Adom TV Premotobre Kasee so na franka tuni de mind this year manyokuo no wie ye na running mate one so de na no nsam to dwafi se nura ena oye amamra ne amane na wo share da pow ma me Professor Jane Opoku Agyeman hontoma de kire ye nti wo so afena ne mu ana akasamu no one so ne nsam a ode to dwa nyina ne se Ghana fo nyina nko wona adi mfe dum woche ya wo ye Ghana ni ekro no de hwe na edin a ye twetwere won so de ho be hyem bi fi se no na be ma kwane na bibi a ye so oban no won so betime de ho ahyem bi.
Opani a ene wada no di ese ono ena obo kanema mpani John Dramani Mahama echidom ewa afie yi abato no mu no Professor Jean Nana Opoku Agyeman wode no akyere NDC amanyoku no enyina ene Ghanafo ebra obo dwadata na wodi dwumadie no ehye so sede be ya wode mami ebekere no manfo nso ne nsem bi owo eka no wode ato no anim no Professor Opoku Agyeman ensem wode tu dwa no ene se kosere Ghanafo bebre Ghana ni bia ye Ghana ni womra so se woye asede bi ede boa omanga na mpunto ni ne kankora obi ansu kwan ese ufiri upemu ene wadwunu mu nyina eye abato di ntwa ekoso no Ghana ni bia ntu ne hu so hono no mfa ne hu sem se wokọ baabi ekotwere wodin anamon bi obi betu so ma wontwere wodin anase niema bi wo hono ma esese woye ema utumi eye no ese oye ne sa pepepe sanso ena ode to abato adwuma electoral commission enu se esese biara obeye na aboa ama obi bia nso so etuma twere ne din no ommomodin se obeye a entutu obi bia de ase.
Countrymen and women, all we are doing right now is what has been and has always been a very simple exercise of registration. What is not so simple this time is that the exercise is taking place in a time of a dreadful pandemic that is still evolving, and in our case, still rising. As if all of this is not bad enough, the level of violence, brute force, bloodletting, and sheer breakdown of law and order in an otherwise straightforward act of registering to vote is unbecoming of our country, especially of a country that until recently was hailed as the fulcrum of democracy in our region. How did we descend into this situation? The answer is simple. When there appears to be selective justice, when some offenders are not even placed on the hook, but are hailed and promoted and excused for being nasty and violent, the logical outcome is what we see. This situation of people dying, being harassed because they have decided to register to vote, it's not a story you can tell any child in the future. How will you begin that story?
Premotobre Kasee so Shannon so Kokromoti power. The affair about what be no yenya bi e Kasee mu ayede ebrewo na yemu ransom no emu na presiding bishop our Methodist sorry na no wo my Ghana mu so they told vice presidential candidate ma NDC Professor Nana Jane Opoku Agyeman nim say na di bia ya yede na bedro yi de eye pa wo ma Kristo su nadi woni bibia mu na facial oma politics amanyo wo my Ghana mu no ensonso yemra mu kra sabre ya waba animu say vice presidential candidate no samne to so Adom TV edeba.
Now you are coming into a situation, you are coming onto the political scene, you are coming into an atmosphere and an environment that is full of all kinds of things. All kinds of things. And I believe that by now you have been baptized or getting baptized into it. Coming in as a woman, you have coming at a time when in our country someone has just been lynched as a woman. As a woman. Where she was seen and called a witch for no reasons. Is that how we should treat our women? Is that how we should treat vulnerable people in our society? Is that how we should treat old people in our society? You are coming in at a time to stand and champion the cause of such vulnerable people. And I pray that this God, in whose presence you have come, will equip you, will enable you, will strengthen you, will give you the insight and give you the wisdom to do what is right for people in the Ghanaian society. You are coming in at a time when our politics is bedeviled with all kinds of negative things. As a Christian, for which we believe that Christians should get into politics. You stand for integrity. You stand for the truth. You will stand against all the politics of insults and the politics of violence. Someone has said, violence means that you have come to the end of your creative activity. Violence means that you have come to the end of your creative activity. Don't go that way. Call for peace. Ask for peace. Because this God in whose presence you sit and the God you are acknowledging says, He is peace, and His peace He gives to people. Carry it, walk with it, talk about it, and let the people know that yes, indeed, you stand and stand with this God.